Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Being your family's grocery store isn't just about having the best butcher cut meat or the freshest produce. It's not about having the highest quality online shopping or experts who handpick your groceries. And it's not just about giving you the most affordable prices. Being your family's grocery store means making sure that you have all of that. And that's why at Fairway Meat and Grocery, it's what we've always been about.
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
We'd like to welcome you to this year's Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We hope you've enjoyed the action today, and we're here today with Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson. And we're actually visiting Brent at his farm just outside of Manson, Iowa. We are so thankful for all those who support us to help put on this great event, none of which are more important than Iowa Farm Bureau, our proud title sponsor. Why does Iowa Farm Bureau invest in Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union?
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, and we're also thrilled to be a part of this year's Girls State Softball Tournament. This tournament not only showcases Iowa's elite teams, but the athletes competing here today are among the nation's best and brightest, and our farmers are among the nation's most productive. Our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the opportunity to honor both while supporting and uplifting the Iowa girls.
Why has the Iowa Farm Bureau invested so much in support of the Iowa girl and all of Iowa's youth across this nation?
Well, we at Farm Bureau believe in championing Iowa's youth. After all, one day they will be our state's future leaders. The Iowa Farm Bureau Scholarship Program, we've given over $500,000 every year to kids across the state. We've also teamed up with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union to sponsor concussion insurance at no cost to those athletes or their families so that they can continue to compete at a high level. We've also provided teachers over the last 8 years with over $450,000 so that they can properly equip their classrooms. And most recently, we've gifted $1 million to the FFA Foundation for their efforts to increase agriculture awareness and support their chapters across the state.
The student athletes participating in this year's tournament are taking home some great souvenirs.
The signature ball program, a memento that they can take with them so someday they can look back on their experiences here and know that the effort that they put in has really paid off, and really congratulate all those students that are competing here at this year's tournament.
Thank you, Brent, and thank you, Iowa Farm Bureau. Now let's get back to playing ball.
Good afternoon and welcome to Fort Dodge. It's Semifinal Wednesday here at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. We're at the Harlan and Hazel Rogers Sports Complex on Kruger Field, where today we'll see Muscatine taking on Pleasant Valley as we look to set up the championship matchup. Ankeny Centennial is already there, downing Southeast Polk 11-1 in 5 innings. Dar Danielson, Ben Gislason here with us as we get ready to go. And a lot of times, Ben, at state tournament, you have teams that haven't seen each other before. But here, these two teams have. And we'll talk about that and what they did during the season. But first, let's take a look at the road to state here, or the road to the championship, as to how they got into this position. And there we go. They defeated Muscatine, defeated Ankeny 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Mara Chalupa with a complete game 2-hit shutout, 8 strikeouts. Waukee Northwest, they lost to Pleasant Valley, defeated Waukee Northwest 5-4 in the quarterfinals. And they both ended up upsetting higher seeds to get here. And now they face each other, and they faced each other in the quarterfinals last year. Muscatine won out after having lost during the regular season to Pleasant Valley. The same thing this year. Pleasant Valley's beaten them twice. Now they're here in the semifinals, and they'll meet up. We'll talk about that a little bit more here. Yeah, okay. We'll keep it here because they're about ready to go with the lineups. But these two teams know each other well.
Not always the case when you get to the state tournament. Sometimes you'll see teams, you talk to coaches, you and I both have talked to coaches, Dar, where you say, what's across the diamond from you? And the coaches say, well, we're not quite sure. We had to call around common opponents to learn more about our opponent here in the state tournament. Not the case. And for this Pleasant Valley club, unfinished business has likely been uttered at some point by their head coach. As you think about Jose Lara and the short memories that these girls have, that these coaches have, they'll remember that loss to Muscatine last year. Pleasant Valley took care of business over Muscatine during the regular season, but on the flip side, looking at it from the Muskies' perspective, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Pleasant Valley lost 2 times in a row during the regular season to Waukee Northwest. They took care of business there. So there's a lot on both sides of the coin. 2 teams that took upsets to get here. They slayed the dragon, now an opportunity to try to move on to the final.
All right, we're getting set here. A beautiful day, clouding up a little bit. It's a cool one. We'll come back and we'll get ready for starting lineups. That'll be coming up here next. You're watching the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why MercyOne offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. MercyOne, your best life, our one purpose.
You're watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. We're getting ready for the second 5A semifinal here. The winner of this one will meet Ankeny Centennial tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the 5A championship. And, of course, we talked about it, Ben. You don't often see, but in 5A you do, because 5A is a different animal when they went to 5A in 2012. And, of course, 5 teams in the CIML here, so we had a matchup again of teams in that first game. But this is one where you mentioned it. Muscatine beat them last year in the quarters, and they can say, hey, we can do this again. And then Pleasant Valley they come out and say, hey, let's finally just put this to bed and beat them and move on.
Well, whenever you've got teams that are familiar with each other, I think it spices up the matchup. I think it adds a little extra vigor and fervor to both teams, and you know the coaches are going to have game plans. We talked about Jose Lara, a very, very accomplished head coach on the other side, and Steve Hopkins for the Muskies. So this should be a great game not only for the players, but I'm looking forward to the chess match as well between both Hopkins and Lara. Aggressive base running, more cautious base running. We'll see what both coaches choose to apply into this obviously gigantic matchup here with the state final berth on the line.
In that earlier matchup, it was a 2-1 win and an 8-5 win by Pleasant Valley. So close games there, and then they were a couple days apart, so it wasn't a doubleheader. But here in the state tournament too, I know Muscatine will be starting a different pitcher than what they started in the quarter, so we'll see how that works. But you get down to where it doesn't matter. You throw everything at it, because if you lose here, you end the season. If you win, you get a chance to play for state titles. So you got to throw every last ounce of what you can out there.
Well, it was certainly interesting to see Muscatine. They will be coming back with Mara Chalupa, who was the biggest reason why they got past Ankeny in that opening quarterfinal game. She had an exceptional day on the mound. She put together 7 innings, just 2 hits allowed, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts against the number 2 seeded Ankeny club. So she is battle tested. She is ready to go, and I expect that if Muscatine's going to get their way into a final, they're going to have to get a lot of support on the mound or in the circle today.
And not only that, they had some big defensive plays that shut off Ankeny every time they tried to make a rally. So those are the little other things too. Defense, base running. Don't run yourself out of innings, and don't make errors, make the big defensive plays, which could send this one way or the other. A big hit where somebody just unleashes and corks one out of here, yeah, but more often than not, it's going to be you make a great defensive play, or you don't run yourself. You do smart base running here.
On Pleasant Valley, they didn't hit the snot out of the ball in their win over Waukee Northwest. They strictly hit singles, but they got the job done in that 5-4 tight win. It was small ball. It was smart base running. They took advantage of a couple of errors that the Wolves made, and that's another thing to keep an eye on. You talk about defense, Dar. Usually in these games, it comes down to the team that plays the most flawlessly on the defensive side of the ball, and both coaches will be stressing as close to perfection as you can get when those grounders, when those fly balls come, those outs that should be automatic. They need to be in this type of an up-tempo pressure cooker situation.
Well, the umpires are home plate talking to both the coaches here, getting the final, laying down the ground rules. They played here already once, so we know the ground rules and what needs to happen. We got a bit of a breeze today. It started off cool. It's supposed to get warm, and there's a chance. I don't want to say it, but there's a chance for some.
Exactly. Don't say it out loud.
Some crazy weather, maybe, but hopefully it won't be. Let's go to our PA announcer.
The Rogers Sports Complex in this 5A semifinal game between the visiting team, the Muscatine Muskies, and the home team, the Pleasant Valley Spartans. The winner of this game will play for a 5A championship tomorrow at 5 p.m. right here at Cougar Seats Field. Now let's meet your non-starters. First of all, to the visitors from Muscatine. Number 3, Cheyenne Mosher. Number 4, Aubrey Bender. Number 7, Harper France. Number 12, Alexis Allen. Number 16, Lucy Hoy. And number 20, Skylar Peterson. Your assistant coaches, Bob Gaunt, Jennifer Haig, Avery Eagle, and Kaylin Salyers. And now, sorry, I missed number 24, Jenny Jarrett. Sorry, Jenny. And now, here's your starting lineup for Muscatine. Leading off, playing center field, number 5, Avery Schroeder. Batting second at second base, number 1, Caitlin Haig. Batting third at third base, number 10, Becca Haig. Cleanup hitter for the Muskies at shortstop, number 14, Isabel Lerma. Batting fifth, doing the catching, number 8, Kylia Salyer. Batting sixth in right field, number 11, Via Molina. Batting seventh, designated player, number 21, Marie Garcia. Batting eighth at first base, number 47, Elsie Lewis. Batting in the ninth position in left field, number 2, Lily Gray. And your flex player doing the pitching, number 29, Mara Kalupa. Head coach for the Muskies, Steve Hopkins. And now let's meet the home team, the Pleasant Valley Spartans. Here's the non-starters. Number 3, Grace George. Number 4, Cabby Wood. Number 6, Bella Chamberlain. Number 9, Jayla Bishop. Number 12, Abby Rogers. Number 15, Taylor Harris. And number 20, Mackenzie Baugh. Your assistant coaches, Alexia Lara, Amanda Ray, Haley Dua, and Alyssa Simon. And now, here's your starting lineup for the Pleasant Valley Spartans. Leading off, playing shortstop, number 2, Jessica Clemens. Batting second at second base, number 10, Reagan Hassel. Batting third, doing the catching, number 7, Casey King. Lead-up hitter for the Spartans, doing the pitching, number 19, Caitlin Merkel. Batting fifth in right field, number 5, Addison Oda. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 16, Caitlin Keeper. Batting seventh in left field, number 11, Mary Page Wither. Batting eighth at first base, number 18, Sarah Rigdon. Batting in the ninth position, playing center field, number 1, Ashley Henson. next player playing at third base, number 8, Eva Crowley. And coach for the Spartans, Jose Lara. Ladies and gentlemen, now turn your attention to the home plate area. The umpires for this contest, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. At first base, Mark Schaefer. At third base, Daryl Erickson. And calling the balls and strikes today, Mr. Dwayne Duncan. All right, who's ready for state tournament softball?
And we're ready for state semifinal softball. Pleasant Valley, the number 3 seed, and Muscatine, the number 7 seed, set to go at it in their third matchup of the season. This one, the big one, because it determines who will go on and who will end the season. And going on here means you get a chance to play for the big trophy.
And the question that's in my mind right now, Dar, is will the slipper still fit at the end of the day? These two are Cinderella stories coming in here. Granted, they both have been around the state tournament before. There's champions on these rosters. But with all that considered, you're still looking at 2 low seeds that got past games they probably, by the numbers, weren't supposed to get past. Now that you don't have that underdog momentum, if you will, will one team wilt or will one team take advantage of the fact that now the playing field has been leveled? So I think early on we'll get to see a little bit more about what each team's mentality is, and who blinks first will be key for me, at least early in this 7-inning game.
There's a little bit of an undercurrent, too, of I do all at Central Iowa CIML games, so I see them a lot, and I like to think that they're the best conference because there's all those teams. But then there might be a little chip, too, from the Eastern Iowa teams. They don't get as much attention, too, and maybe they don't play day in and day out as tough a competition as you play, but they do play some good competition, tough competition, and there's that, too. If one of these teams, one of them is going to get advanced and play a CIML team, so there's a little chip on that. Let's get in there and show them, hey, from the Eastern Iowa, eastern side of the state, we play good softball, too. And Pleasant Valley, they won a title. It's been a few years back, but they've won a title. So I believe, didn't they, back in
champions in 17 and 18?
Yeah. So
memory serves correct on that one.
Yeah.
And I agree. Listen, call a spade a spade. You can say you don't pay attention to bound.org. You can say you don't look at the rankings, but that's a load of phooey. All these teams do, and they want to get recognition, and both of these clubs would love a chance, one, to get to the state final no matter who you're playing, but especially with an Ankeny Centennial team, the number 1 seeded team, both of these teams looking for a chance at another upset come the state final.
Avery Schrader, the center fielder, will lead it off today. She was 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored, a stolen base in the quarterfinal win. And she'll step in to face Caitlin Merkel. Merkel in the circle. Little chopper to third, glove, and there's one away.
Ava Crowley was ready for that one. It was almost like they had a look into the future at where that ball was going to go. Crowley was down the line. She was creeping up and went right into her glove. And Crowley, usually you don't get that much time. She actually dusted that ball off a little bit, took a second crow hop and slung it across. But a good start for Merkel, who had a really nice day against a very good hitting Wolves team in the quarterfinals.
Here's the pitch. That one's low for a ball.
Good to get Schrader out as well.
Actually, Kalupa pitched against Northwest, and now Merkel is pitching in this one.
Well, Merkel,
right?
Yeah, but Merkel pitches for Pleasant Valley. Kalupa's pitching for...
right. You're right. I mean,
yeah, for the other side. We do a lot of games.
Yeah.
But
anyway, that's a hit. I'm sorry. I was listening to what you said, and I processed it wrong. So we got our first hit of the day. Haig is on. Haig drove in the two runs in that first game. Now here's Becca Haig.
Dramatic fashion as well in that 7th inning. What a fun finish. I know you were there for it, Brett.
Becca Haig with 1 out, and Caitlin Haig at first. That one is low for ball.
Becca Haig, 39 RBIs on the season. Top marks in purple for these Muskies, and long way to go from first to home for her sister, the base runner, Caitlin Haig. But get out there and stroke one here, and maybe you could see an early bit of fireworks from the purple and black.
2-0 pitch. Merkel winds. This one slapped foul just by Ann Crowley reaching over. It curved foul before the bag.
Again, Ava Crowley was up tight, just like where she was for that first swing by the batter Schrader, and that one went rocketing past, and luckily for the Spartans, that one was foul. There was no white and blue in the vicinity to get to that ball. There would have been a lot of room to run for the base runners there had that straightened out.
2-1 count. Pitch is high. Casey Kane behind the plate. And it's a 3-1 count.
Hitters count here, Dar. Let's see if head coach Steve Hopkins gives the green light for Haig to try to poke one out there. Good hitter in Haig at a .505 average this year.
There's a strike.
Good pitch from Merkel right on the outside corner. That's a tough one to feel like on a 3-1 count you want to give a whack at. So a great pitch there by the sophomore.
Runs the count full. Looks in. Deals. Hit to right field. Going back and dropping the ball. Now she'll throw to second, or the cutoff into second, and they get the force.
That's the unconventional way to do it, Dar, but the outs all count the same. Madison Oda will probably take a little bit of a chuckle on that one. That was in the glove, out of the glove. But, hey, good awareness by the sophomore as we see it again on the instant replay here. It'd be easy when that happens to panic and go, oh, no, got the ball up, got it into the cutoff, and they got the out, so no harm, no foul.
You heard the wind blowing in our introductions. I think the wind probably had a little bit of that as she was kind of unsure.
Be interesting to see if that plays a factor in any more of these can of corn fly balls we see the rest of the way.
Isabel Lerma, the shortstop, comes to the plate with 2 outs. She's hitting .413 coming in. 1 for 3 in the quarterfinal for Muscatine. On the outside edge, ball 1. Looking to end out the inning with no runs here. There's a strike low.
Merkel, not a pitcher that has gotten the job done with a ton of strikeouts this year. A great record, 16-4, but she's relied on her defense, just 35 Ks. Only had 2 in that first game, but it's a nice marriage right now between this defense of the Spartans and the pitcher, Merkel, to rely on the defense again here.
To the shortstop, over in time to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. At the end of a half inning, no score. We'll be back with the bottom of the first after this in the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey fans, Central College has you covered with career building programs, and with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarships, it's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. So, 1 hit but couldn't get the runner around, and Pleasant Valley will come to the plate with Jessica Clemens, Reagan Hassel, and Casey Kane set to go here. The defense for Pleasant Valley, Mara Kalupa pitching, Kalia Salyers is catching, Elise Lewis at first, Caitlin Haig at second, Isabel Lerma at short, Becca Haig at third. The outfield left to right, Lily Gray, Avery Schrader, and Mia Molina for Muscatine. And the Spartans will come up to bat. And looks like Jessie Clemens 1 for 2 with a run scored in the quarterfinal. And she'll step in here against Kalupa. Takes a strike, first pitch.
I'm stoked to see Mara Kalupa pitch, and I only got to hear the whispers and the murmurs of the game that she pitched in the quarters, and really excited to see if she can deal like she dealt in that quarterfinal here against this Spartan team.
That one's high, 1-1. She pitched with really good control, and that one likes to move the ball around a lot. This one breaks back inside for a strike.
Wow.
The catcher sat up outside, and then she threw that, and it broke back in over the plate, which kind of caught the batter off guard. It looked like it was clearly going to be off the outside edge.
Man, caught Salyers a bit off guard too, but the
1-2.
veteran senior made a nice play.
Foul back. And count remains at 1-2 here. Outfield back deep for Clemens. Normal depth for the infield. They're expecting her to pop it, the leadoff batter. This one she does pop it. Right on cue, hits one into left center for a base hit. So there erases the thought of no hitter by either one of these pitchers, which I don't think we expected today, but
well, Jessie Clemens doing her job. That's the leadoff's role, is get on, no matter how it takes. She walked twice in the quarterfinals against Waukee Northwest. Was 1 for 2 with a single. Did score a run, too. She's got good base path speed, does Clemens. And see what Jose Lara does with Clemens, who had 18 stolen bases during the regular season, now on first.
Reagan Hassel squares the bunt and bunts it up high. The second baseman, the senior.
Interesting move by Lara. Hassel was batting near the bottom of the order in that opening game against the Wolves. She's been bumped up here to bat second behind Clemens, 1 for 4 in that game. So it wasn't like she set the world on fire, but clearly a strategic move by Lara. We'll see if it pays off for his club here in the semifinal.
Well, and having played these guys twice, you kind of know where he wants his lineup too. There, sets a bunt down right back to the pitcher. Perfect bunt. The throw is high, but it's there. So a sacrifice bunt for out number 1 advances the runner along. And that'll bring up Casey Kane, the catcher. Clemens out of second.
Kane is who you want. She's a player that is a high caliber hitter for this Pleasant Valley team. Slugging percentage of .721. You like to see that with a runner in scoring position here in a big game.
She steps in. Ball low and inside to Kane. And I like Casey Kane, the catcher. Very alliterative for an announcer.
It is a fun one. Rolls off the tongue nice and easy, doesn't it?
She steps back in. And holds on that one, and it's a strike.
Kane had an uncharacteristic day in the opening of this tournament, which would lead you to believe she might be due here in the semifinal. She was 0 for 3 with a walk against Waukee Northwest.
One high, 2-1. Quite close and overcast here today. We've had partly cloudy, but mostly sunny than partly cloudy the first couple of days and cool. And now we've got quite a bit of clouds cover now. This one fouled straight back, 2-2.
Imagine the players might not be complaining about that. A little less of a bake out there, sitting on the
Yeah, it's a little cooler where we're sitting under the
Yeah, we
under
don't
the
complain
bleachers.
either way. We've got the cloud cover here. We've got cover even in the sun.
But it
out.
did get a little hotter on the diamond out there yesterday. Here's the 2-2. And rings her up. Caught her looking there. That one was low, and she held off it, and the umpire said it was in at the knee, and there's 2 away. Brings up the pitcher, Caitlin Merkel.
Superb pitch there in on the corner, and that's one that you might look back on if you're Casey Kane and say in a 2-2 count, maybe just try to foul it off. Definitely wasn't a pitch that you could do anything with, so great work by Kalupa.
This one is skied up, second baseman going out, Haig, and she'll make the play to end the inning. So each team gets a hit, each team leaves a runner on here. After one complete, no score in this 5A semifinal, you're watching the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why MercyOne offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. MercyOne, your best life, our one purpose.
You're watching the Girls Union Digital Network here as we're in the 5A semifinal, the second semifinal of the day. Muscatine and Pleasant Valley, no score after one frame. And Dar Danielson, Ben Gislason, no surprise in that first inning. Just kind of checking each other out. Both got a hit, and neither able to get them beyond second base. And leading it off, the number 5 hitter, Kalia Salyers, the catcher for Muscatine. Merkel delivers a strike on the first pitch.
Salyers will be hungry here after an 0-for-3 outing in that opener against Ankeny, and looking to make your stamp. Anytime you're here, you want to win a championship, but individually you want to have a hand in it too, and making your imprint is important, especially for the catcher, and Stokes went out to second here.
Right side, and Regan Hassel saw that Sarah Rigdon got off first chasing that ball and decided, I better go myself, and she dove in there and gets the unassisted put out the hard way, but heads up play, and that she saw her first baseman was off the bag and went over and got it.
Seen a few awkward ones today. We had Madison Oda in the first inning drop that fly ball, then throw a runner out at second, and then Hassel with some hustle coming over from second and diving with the glove outstretched.
Mia Molina takes a strike on the outside. The right fielder comes in hitting around 327 on the season. Merkel looks in, takes a little time, gets the grip, and there's a little looper that's a ball. Kind of rose at the end, but it rose out of the zone. It's 1-1. That one's high. Ball 2. Kane's the catcher, Rigdon first, Hassel at second, Clemens at short, Crawley at third. Withers, Hansen, and Oda, outfield left to right here for Pleasant Valley.
Been a patient crew at bat so far for these Muskies. They haven't swung it a lot out of the zone quite yet.
This one hit hard. Shortstop tries to backhand. It comes up, and it'll be too late. We'll see what they call that. That would have had to been a outstanding play. They're going to call that a hit. Yeah, I agree with that. The criteria is if you have to make more than normal play to get the out, and that would have been there. Even if she backhanded it, the runner may still have been safe. Here's Marie Garcia, the designated player, wraps it right up the middle, off the glove of the center fielder. Around and holding it second is Molina.
That might also fall under the criteria you were talking about, Dar. That would have been an incredible catch in center field, and almost getting to it was the center fielder Hansen, but just off the tip of her glove.
Yep, they've already put the hit up there on the board, so back-to-back singles, and that brings up Elsie Lewis, the first baseman here, and a little meeting on the mound for the infielders there, and a little confidence boost for Merkel, saying, hey, that's all right. They're just little bloopers that have gotten in there. Now we got one out, and the force is on at first, second, or third.
Well, if you're Jose Laurie, you're coming out saying, look, you've got bottom two batters here. Bottom of the order, take care of business, find your spots, don't worry about the runners behind you. Anytime pitchers get too focused on what's going on behind them, that's when they start missing their location. So you're looking to just hit your spots, focus on the batter. That's what you have to take care of here. Your fielders have options too if the ball goes on the ground.
0-1 pitch now. That one low, drops in there, and Kane blocks it. And the thing you can't do either is you get a few hits and you start thinking, I got to be better with my placement, but they weren't like they smacked the heck out of it. Here's the 1-1. That one's low outside. 2-1. One out, two runners on here in the top of the second. Muscatine looking to get on the board first. Rip foul, 2-2.
Merkel hanging tough here. Doing a nice job of not letting the threats behind her put any heat on the back of her neck here. She's focused on what she needs to be focused on and has her batter in a bit of a jam here right where she wants to be if you're in the circle.
2-2 pitch. This one a chopper to second. She'll go to first and gets the out there. But the runners advance.
Elsie Lewis does her job. Get the runner on and move two into scoring position now. Just an opening run 60 feet away from the first blood in this game here for the Muskies.
So you still have the option now, the fielders. You got a first look to first. If you get that play, that's the one you want. Get that runner.
As Lily Gray steps to the plate, Avery Schrader comes across, grabs the freshman, gives her a little bit of advice. One thing you see so much of at this level is the communication, whether it's from your coach or whether it's from your infielder to your left or your right fielder to center fielder. So much communication. Everybody has to be on the same page, whether you're batting or in the field, and you just love to see that type of communication, that type of camaraderie, especially in the semifinals here.
Lily Gray, the left fielder, takes it low outside for ball one.
And a big spot for a lot of reasons. If Gray can as much as even keep this inning alive, even if she doesn't score the runner from third, you get back to the top of the order for Muscatine.
Merkel looks in, deals. Chopper down to first, and it'll be foul ball. As Rigdon came over, but it carried foul. So Gray hangs in there at 1-1. Two outs, runners at second and third here. Muscatine. There's a strike called. A little bit of a change there. Hangs up. And that's just outside. Made her kind of look, see if she's going to go chasing one, but she didn't, and it's 2-2.
Like that pitch, though, from Merkel. 1-2 count. No reason to give anything that's too juicy. See if you can't get her fishing and get yourself out of this jam the easy way.
This one hit hard to the second baseman, right up in the gut. She'll throw to first and end the inning. There, nice play by Hassel. And 2 hits, no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on at the end of 1.5. No score here. We'll come back with the top or bottom of the second after this from the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
On the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Bottom of the second, Pleasant Valley has the 5, 6, 7 hitters. Addison Oda, the right fielder, starts it off, hits a high fly toward center. Center fielder drifting over, making the play is Avery Schrader.
Always enjoy a first pitch hitter, and Addison Oda did that a few times back in the quarterfinals. Not quite the result she was looking for there, but Oda provides some nice juice and pop from the middle of the lineup. She was 2 for 4 in that game against Waukee Northwest, so keep an eye on her as this game moves along, but she starts the day 0 for 1.
Caitlin Keeper, the designated player, now steps in. The junior takes a strike.
Kiefer 2 for 3 in that quarterfinal game and actually headed collegiately to bowl at Judson University. So see so much of that in this state tournament. Multi-sport athletes and some great softball players that you think, where are they going to play college ball? And they're actually headed for volleyball or basketball somewhere. That always makes me happy to see that.
That one's low. We've had bowling, wrestling, volleyball, basketball, obviously, and softball, but track, a little bit of everything. 2-1 now to Mary Page Withers, Caitlin Keeper. Mary Page Withers is waiting in the on-deck circle. That one's high, 3-1.
Looking to plant a little seed of doubt in Kalupa here, who's undoubtedly operating with a lot of confidence in the circle, and you don't need anything too dramatic. Just get something out there and make her think a little. That'll work too.
And free pass given up. First one. And brings up Murray Page Withers, the left fielder, the junior. And we may have our first substitution of the day. All substitutions brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtims.com.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I think she was getting a different helmet maybe. Or she came up. Okay, they're going to move the flex player, which would be Ava Crowley over there. Crowley came out and then wanted to get a different helmet. So she comes back out with their more streamlined, I guess, faster running helmet there.
It's all about aerodynamics on the base paths, isn't it, Dar?
So here we go. Runner on. One out. Withers stepping up. She had an RBI with a double in the quarters. That one inside. from Kalupa. This one lifted high. Shortstop drifts over just on the other side of the bag and makes the play.
So important for pitchers not to compound the mistakes, and a walk when you follow it up with an out, and a nice and easy one too for your shortstop Lerma. That's one that'll get that confidence right back boosted as you look to take on the upcoming batter in Sarah Rigdon.
Rigdon, the first baseman, junior. She steps in. Hitting first pitch, fouls it back.
One at-bat only in the quarterfinal game, and it was a very fruitful one. 1-for-1 with an RBI. She came in late in the game and did her job and earned herself a few more at-bats here in the semis with that at-bat a couple of days ago.
Here's the 0-1. This one lifted high. Yeah, and you wonder, coaches, a lot of times we don't see a lot of different lineup changes, but a good coach is open and see who's hitting and who's hot and moving it around a little bit. And then I think as a team, you got to be aware if somebody is on a hot streak, you can't pout if you're the one that goes to the bench and they come in. You just have to be ready to come back in. Here's a 1-1 right up the middle for a base hit on the 0-2 pitch.
Well, and I think Jose Lara is going to want to see a lot more of Sarah Rigdon as she keeps this up. She's 2 for 2 in the 2 at-bats she's had and advances the runner along, and this 2-out rally is starting to look a little more threatening here for Lara and the Spartans.
And she tagged that, and the thing you see with Kalupa is you see a lot of ground balls. You don't see a lot of long flies, but, man, that one was hit hard on the ground. So now 2 outs, 2 runners on, and Hansen at the plate, the center fielder. She takes the first pitch for a ball.
Hansen started the tournament batting second, so this isn't maybe a true 8 hitter for Lara here. Good spot to be in.
And strike.
I liked your comment earlier too, Dar, about, and what we don't know is what Lara knows about what have the other wins looked like against this Muscatine team. Maybe this is the exact lineup that they had in that 8-5 victory back in June.
This one slapped hard, caught. Good reaction by Becca Haig at third as she catches the hot smash. And that ends the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on. At the end of 2 complete now, we got no score here in this 5A semifinal at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. That old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion. Because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
On the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy, we go back to the top of the order where we started things off. Still no score here, and it'll be Avery Schrader. She grounded out to third. Her first time up. And while they know each other and they played, a little more tension here with what's at stake and moving on to the title matchup.
Yeah, certainly feels a lot different than those 2 games in June. And jitters, as much as you shook those out in the quarters, both teams, that intensity and the tension only ratchets up the further you go in the tournament. So it's not like once you get through them in the first game, they're just gone for good.
No, because you come here and you want so badly to get into that championship game. The ultimate would be to win it, but just first you got to get there to have a shot at it. And here's the 0-1 now. Caitlin Merkel in the circle. I'm going to say that as many times as I can today because that just that rolls off good too.
Great melody to it.
Yeah. 0-2. Casey Kane, the catcher, Rigdon at first, Hassel at second, Clemens at short, Crawley at third, the outfield, Withers, Hansen, and Oda here for Pleasant Valley, resetting the defense for you. Here's a delivery. That one came high right away. Looking for that high ball to get him to chase on the 0-2, but that one a little bit too much up.
Yeah, one of the greater misses we've seen from Merkel so far through 2 innings and change pitched here in the top of 3. She'll hope to do a little bit less of that moving forward.
This one chopped back to Merkel, gloves it, throws right over to first, and it's a 1-3 put out for out number 1. And that'll bring up Caitlin Haig, who singled and then was thrown out at second on a little bit of an unconventional thing as Oda dropped the fly ball, threw it to the cutoff, the second baseman. She threw it to the shortstop, and she was erased.
Yeah, nothing Haig could do on that one. She was doing her job halfway up the baseline, making sure she wasn't going to get pegged for what she thought would have been a catch in right field.
Yeah, and for Oda, I think maybe lost in the wind a little bit. It is a little breezier today.
Swirling a bit, too.
Yeah.
Seems to be changing directions a bit.
Yeah. And fouls that one off, 1-1. Here's the pitch. This one trying to go the other way, lift it over down the line, but it goes foul.
Right thought there from Haig. That's the perfect pitch to try to do that. You just lay the barrel of the bat out and let the bat do the work for you.
Yeah, go right with the pitch.
That was a perfect decision. The execution just a bit off. That one's about 6 feet to the left, and she's rolling her way to first base.
Because you got that right fielder off the line a little bit with the right-handed batter. Here's the 1-2. That one high.
Seems that's been the miss so far for Merkel. She hasn't missed very wide or very low too often, just kept balls out of the dirt, but when she's been well out of the strike zone, it's been high.
Been up, yep. 2-2. She tries to go that way again and gets over into that area where the umpires sit and rest and watch some of the games.
That one a little harder to do something with than the one we saw her try to slap previously. That ball, maybe a slider, maybe a curveball, was tailing away at the end. That's why we saw that one go out of play. The first one stayed in.
Count stays at 2-2. This one hit towards shortstop. She'll come up, throw in. It's the put out.
It's a nice at bat by Haig. She had to deal with some pretty good pitching there by Merkel, and that pitch might have been a ball if she'd let it go by. But again, when you get into those 2-2 counts, anytime you even get a notion it might be a strike, you say, I got to get the bat on the ball there. But good work for Merkel. Continues to look really solid.
Clemens to Rigdon for the 6-3 put out, and that brings up Becca Haig, who reached on that fielder's choice fly to right. And the third baseman will step in, the senior. That one low on the outside.
Feels like one of those games, Dar, where one team's going to get one run and they might get 3-4 more with them at once, right?
Yeah, it might. It's like when you're from Minnesota, you're working and you finally crack that ice open on there and you get the bait down there and you catch a lot of fish.
Exactly.
Not just one.
Sometimes it takes a while, especially to get up in the North Country, to get through those 4 or 5 feet of ice up there with your auger.
Once you get the bait down there, you catch one, and then all of a sudden you catch a lot. That one bounces.
Get that good mojo going. Both teams looking for it here in the third.
But you're right, in this tight a game, because you almost feel the air come out because the other team knows one run might be enough to win this. Now 3-0 count here for Merkel against Haig.
Well, and Muscatine did that. They won that game 3-0, so they're comfortable in this spot. Back in the quarters, it wasn't a game laden with hits. It was a game about pitching and defense. So Muscatine's more than happy to play this kind of nip-and-tuck game with you all the way to the finish line if they want.
So Haig trying to get aboard again. Here's the 3-1. Held off on that one, and it's a full count now.
That one hung up there a little bit.
Just she had a notion, but decided, wait, maybe there's one that's going to come up a little more. Now you got to watch for the change here. There it is, right back through the middle. Yep, that one was more in the meat of the plate, wasn't it?
I was going to say, we second-guessed the batter. Maybe she heard us from here. She said, watch this.
Yeah. No, I knew
rope to center.
Yeah, that was a little too low. I'm going to wait for that. So brings up Isabel Lerma, the shortstop. She grounded out to short. 0 for 1 here so far in the early going of this game. Another base runner aboard. Muscatine's had a runner aboard each inning so far. And stranded 3.
Becca Haig, 12 stolen bases, 2 outs. So you wonder if they'd try it, but we'll see.
Hitting first pitch is Lerma.
Feels like one of those spots, too, where you wonder if just try to change something. Maybe steal something just to change up the kind of monotony of the game a little bit.
Yeah, try to get the other team out of the sorts where they have to make an odd play or something. And
both teams feeling in the comfort zone right now. What can you do to change that? That's what I'd be thinking about.
This one change up, and she pops it up on the infield. Third baseman over, and Ann Crowley makes the play. To end the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the third after this at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey, all you fans out there watching who couldn't make it to the tournament, tournament merchandise is online. Get your phone out and you scan the QR code you see there on the screen, or visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. You know, Christmas is only about 5 months away, so
Christmas in July. That's
there you go.
My wife celebrates that, so I know there's others out there that do, and everybody needs some pink in their wardrobe. I'd also add that.
Yeah. Well, we go to the top of the order here for Pleasant Valley. Jessica Clemens singled to lead off the game and was stranded. Takes a strike on the first pitch.
Great contact on that single back in the first, too. One of the best hit balls we've seen all day so far in this 6-hit game.
There's a ball, 1-1.
Clemens not afraid to take a walk either, but can beat you in a lot of ways, and her base path speed is definitely something to worry about as the leadoff hitter should she find her way to first again.
She tries to pull that one, turns on it, but pulls it foul.
Tough pitch to handle. That one was moving on its way inside. Came off the bat awkwardly because of the spin that ball had on it.
She's ready. She's got that running glove in her back pocket, right back pocket, so she's up there with the confidence. I'm going to get on and need that thing. 1-2 here. And your leadoff, you know, you put that scrappy, good hitter, smart player in your leadoff spot because you want them on. 2-2 now. Laura Kalupa. In the circle, delivers. This one lifted to the right side. Third baseman coming over. Caitlin Haig makes the play.
Nice range there, and a little bit of an awkward jaunt. Whenever you have to go diagonally, you have to think, do I turn and run directly at it? Do I strafe more? Did a nice job there of keeping up her pace without taking her eye off the ball. It was not a routine little pop-out. Nice range there from Haig at second.
Brings up Reagan Hassel, who had a sac bunt. This one she lifts toward, is going to drop in for a single into right center. And that'll bring up Casey Kane, the catcher. Struck out looking.
Another first pitch swing. Seen a few of those already from this Pleasant Valley team. Wonder if that is an edict from the head coach or if they're just seeing those opening first pitches that are looking a little meatier than the others from Kalupa.
That one low. Yeah, sometimes those pitchers get in a habit and you pick that up and say, and then you see the batters too coming back and talking to each other sometime. You know, hey, she threw that rise on the first pitch.
And I've always been a fan too of first pitch hitting. Not that it works out every time, it's not an exact science, but the general school of thought for pitchers is get that first pitch strike.
Yeah, get it across.
You got to think they're going to try to be throwing something around the plate in that opening strike, so chances are it could be something that you could lay a lick on.
Now Casey Kane ahead in the count here, 2-0. Fouls that one off. 2-1.
Kalupa's jammed a few hitters today really well, throwing that breaking ball inside that it gets you to stutter a little bit because it looks like it's coming at you, and then it breaks just inside at the last moment, and if you try to take a hack at it, it's coming in on your hands.
Laura gave a lot of signals, and then Kane came back and said, what? Wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
Wait. He went through a whole set of signals over there in the third base box, and then she stepped out again, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if they put a hit and run on, or 2-1 here. The runner is going, and the throw is into center field. It was a strike, but it did the trick. It got the runner over to second with one out.
Wonderful jump from Clemens on that, but back to the pitch. That pitch from Kalupa, that painted the outside corner and had some steam behind it too. It was an excellent pitch, but just one out and a runner in scoring position now for a good power hitter in Kane. This is an opportunity.
She chops this one. That's going to get through the hole by the shortstop. Around and in for the first run of the ball game. And caught up. Now she dives back and gets back in time. Kane does. On the RBI single. Goes to second on the throw.
Terrific at-bat by the RBI leader for the Spartans during the regular season. Took that count deep, 2-2. Took a few really good pitches from the pitcher Kalupa and then found something she could work with and drove it past the shortstop and the aggressive base running too.
That goes back to her first at-bat too, where she struck out looking on that low pitch, and she wasn't happy about the call, but she knew then this time with 2 strikes, 2-2, she didn't hold off. She just drove it there into left center.
That one came in low as well, a little bit further to the right, which maybe made it a little more inviting for her because she could get her barrel of a bat on it, but struck it well and drives in a run for the opening strike of the game.
That brings up the pitcher, Caitlin Merkel, with the runner now on second, a chance to help pad the lead for her a little bit. So we got a pitch runner out there now at second, so that would be an IMT Insurance substitution. Learn how you can be free at imtims.com. And I'll pick up her number in a minute. There's a strike right in there to Merkel.
That looks like Bella Chamberlain out there, the freshman.
Okay. Oh, 1 to Merkel. Pitcher on pitcher. That one's low.
Always curious when pitchers face each other do they approach it with a different mentality than most batters do?
Well, there's a chopper to third. The runner holds and then goes over. But she was all the way over there. But the thing is, if you start trying to get into a rundown, you might end up not getting that out. So they go to first and get the second out, as the runner will advance.
Quarterfinal game, that was something I remember from this Pleasant Valley team was they had a plan on the base path. They were structured. It was one thing I thought they did better than Waukee Northwest. They had a plan. They executed it well. It was just that perfect line between too aggressive and not aggressive enough.
This one, first pitch, lifted up, coming back, and it's off the screen. Or was it? No.
I thought it was too.
I thought it was
like
off
she
the
was
screen, but
watching
she caught it.
backstop and then it
Yeah.
bounced.
So Kalia Salyers catches it and ends the inning there, but there's one run on 2 hits, no errors and 1 left on base. 1-0 Pleasant Valley as we go to the top of the 4th inning here at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Girls Union Digital Network will go to the top of the 4th inning. Kalia Salyers, who made the 3rd out, will now come to the plate. Sometimes you see a defensive play and they come up to bat and have a big offensive play here. And it looked like she was playing the ricochet off the net from our angle here, but it wasn't. It never touched it. Once it touches this net here behind the dugout, then it's out of play, and that's where we're sitting right in behind the umpire there. This one chopped foul. And some catchers who've been here a while, they learn you can come in and push against that net and try to catch the ball.
Wow. Talk about gamesmanship.
If it's high enough, then you can. A lot of times it comes off pretty quick and you can't, but I've seen that happen before by experienced catchers. Here's the 0-1 outside.
A little different than the chain link fences I know a lot of these girls are used to on the diamonds around the state of Iowa. Takes not only experience but state experience to be thinking that much ahead on a fly ball backwards like that.
This one ripped into right center field, and Salyers makes the out and then gets a single to lead it off.
Called that one well, partner.
Yep. Brings up Mia Molina, and we know, one run lead is maybe not a lot between these two teams. And looking at the scores of games in the past where they've been pretty tight. We'll have a courtesy runner here for IMT Insurance substitution. All changes in the lineup brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free at imtins.com.
Junior Aubrey Bender making her way to first.
Mia Molina singled and was stranded at third in the 2nd inning. She squares to bunt here, and it's a strike. Looking to advance that runner around, and that's when you get the lead off. Then you can play the small ball, get the runner around, and a chance to tie it up.
It's amazing how the options really restrict, even when you get to 1 out. When you got nothing like this, your options are pretty unlimited for how you want to handle this, at least as long as the count doesn't have a 2nd strike in it quite yet.
And then sometimes bunting can be an adventure defensively too.
Yes,
you know.
Yes, it can.
If you lay down a good one, it could cause a lot of different problems for the defense. Here she's going to lay this one down perfectly down the third baseline, right where you have to go to first, and a great sacrifice by Molina.
Ava Crowley, that play needed to be done in a hurry, and she got to that lickety split. Didn't take it long. It was into the glove, out of the glove. She's had a couple of plays like that down the third base line. I've been impressed with her agility. We'll see it again here, but you nailed it. That bunt, it was like a beautifully hit golf shot. It had a little English on it, spinning backwards. It was perfectly laid. I'm amazed they got to that play.
And spin to a stop.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's Maria Garcia. Swings and misses the DP. She singled her last time up.
Beautiful pitch. That one came all the way across the plate. No wonder Molina took a hack at it.
Merkel looks in. Garcia set, chops it to third. Backhands runner will advance. The throw gets her.
Ava Crowley having a wonderful day at third base right now. Again, just fundamentally flawless there. And what I love, too, about what she's been contributing defensively over there is she's not getting ahead of herself. So many times, especially with the 60-foot baseline, you have to get that play done so quick you get a little ahead of yourself. Not there. 1, 2, 3, nice play to first.
First baseman Elsie Lewis hit into fielder's choice her last time up. And now she hasn't really... You know, the wild pitch comes into play with that go-ahead or the tying run at third, but we haven't seen a whole lot of that out of Merkel, and Kane has been great behind the plate.
When her misses have been high.
Yeah,
usually easier to handle than the spinners
high ones
down in the dirt.
And that one's right across the outside edge. Yeah. When it's coming high, it's easier for that catcher to jump up and get it, but when it gets down and skips down low, you can get between your legs or hit the umpire and get away.
It can be a real mess.
Not a huge amount of room, but plenty here for the runner. That one comes low, and there she blocks it excellently. 2-1.
Catching position is such a fascinating one to me. In a lot of ways, they are the quarterback of the game. Everything runs through them. They so often are leaders on teams. And Casey Kane, we saw her come up with a huge hit. She's got the lone RBI in the game right now and doing a nice job calling a nice game as well for her pitcher, Merkel.
2-1 to Lewis. Chopper over the head of the pitcher, back to short, comes across. Got her! Jessica Clemens with the highlight reel out. Wow. Chopper over. Let's see if we can see that before we go to break. Here it is. Up the middle, running across the bag, catches, throws, and what a stretch by Rigdon. You're watching the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Being your family's grocery store isn't just about having the best butcher cut meat or the freshest produce. It's not about having the highest quality online shopping or experts who handpick your groceries. And it's not just about giving you the most affordable prices. Being your family's grocery store means making sure that you have all of that. And that's why at Fairway Meat and Grocery, it's what we've always been about.
On the Girls Union Digital Network, a defensive gem by Pleasant Valley keeps them in the lead, and they come to bat 6, 7, and 8. Caitlin Kiefer, the designated player, takes the ball. And those are the plays that can do it for you in a tight game.
Well, and especially with a runner on third. That play would have been an exciting one. You would have seen the emotion we saw written on the face of Jessie Clemens had that been a bases empty situation. But in that moment, wow, that's a play. If this game stays as tight as we've seen it so far, you're going to remember, you're going to look back on and circle it when this goes across the finish line.
It hops over the pitcher, and then if it hops right on the second and gets into the outfield, that run is in easily there. Outside.
Well, the minute that ball got over the pitch, the circle, third base, that runner on third, Chamberlain, was on her way in.
Yeah.
Or pardon, that was Aubrey Bender on her way in.
2-2 here to the leadoff batter, Kiefer. And on the hands, fouls it off. Kalupa pitching, Sawyer's catching, Elsie Lewis at first, Caitlin Haig at second. Isabel Lerma at short, Becca Haig at third, the outfield left to right, Gray, Schrader, and Molina.
Be curious if we don't start to see a little bit more of that from Kalupa. She's found a nice little home there in some of those pitches jamming in on the hands.
Apparently they're in the 10th inning on the other diamond.
Nice marathon start to the day.
Yeah. And here we had one that went 5. This one I'm not going to say because who knows at this point. It's still anybody's
Just
ball
like
game.
talking about the weather. We're not going to make any claims.
Yeah. 2-2. This one lifted and drops, and this time the shortstop, Brorman, was on the run, but that just hung a little too much before it dropped in there for the single by Kiefer.
That one almost defies physics. This pitch was on the outside, way outside. If you see it again there, she just reaches out. That really showcases the strength of Kiefer to be able to muscle that ball back up the middle. That one had bleeding to the right written all over it. A great piece of hitting there.
And then Haig was coming over, and Lerma almost got bumped into her trying to make the play. Here's a attempt at a butt, and it's
foul ball
fouled off by Mary Page Withers, the left fielder. She flied out the shortstopper last time up. But here again, a chance with no outs to move that runner around and look for a little insurance here when you get the leadoff runner on board for Pleasant Valley. And a strike 2, missed the bunt. 0-2. Now you just got to get it in play.
One for Kalupa. She's gotten over the hump of having to deal with the bunt now. So you'll see the infield shift back into normal spots, and you'll force Withers to swing away here. And with the 0-2 count, Kalupa's got basically whatever she wants to do with these next at least 2 pitches, she can do it.
She squares again and then fouls it off. If you can slap it to the right side, that would be more beneficial. Kiefer's not the speediest of runner over there, but it's 4-4 at the top of the 10th, 1 out on that other diamond. Who's that playing over there? Remind me. That ball's high.
Let's see here.
I've been totally focused on her stuff.
You and me both.
Yeah, you know.
I'll track it down. You watch the game.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin. Fort Dodge and Winter said it is.
This one lifted deep. Not going to be deep enough to advance the runner. So fly out.
Having a producer on the broadcast is one of the greatest things you can ask for, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Devin's pretty good. He gets a little irritable sometimes, but he's pretty good. Yeah. And all of them, I give them just a little bit of hard time. That's just what I do. But
that's
anyway.
The good-natured relationship between the broadcast team, isn't it?
Yep. This one is a ball, 2-2. Winterset has runners at the corners with 1 out. And you can tune in and watch that game, too, if you want. Why you tune away from us, I don't know. But
me neither.
And thanks to all of you who are watching today. This one lifted toward right field. That one's getting back there and caught by Molina. That was drifted quite a ways back there, and then she had to push that glove up late. But now 2 outs.
Super work in the circle, too. Kalupa has had an iron will in this game. She's had a few of those opening base runners get on, and she's settled things down well as the winds have started to blow, of the momentum shifting, and Hasn't let anything get too awkward, too uncomfortable for her. That one run gets in, but otherwise it's been pretty steady as it goes.
Hanson flied out, kind of lined out a little fly to the third baseman her last time up and fouls that one off. But again, they said thanks to those forward, Eastern Iowa couldn't make the run over here in Scott County, Muscatine County. Watch the online feed. Winner set is on the board, I guess, over there. There's a strike. Kalupa's been good with 2 outs and a runner. You talked about it. She focuses. You got the number 9 batter. Let's focus on this. And that one slapped. Oof. That was close.
Love that idea. And then the second time she's tried to slap one like that, and that was almost the perfect pitch to do it. A little just a high pitch, but she kind of got a high swing. Stood up, shifted her stance a little bit nicely so she wasn't swinging up at it. Got a level swing.
It's just like you're the hockey guy, almost like redirecting the puck. You get it out there on the ball and direct it the other way. That one is perfectly directed there in between the third baseman and the shortstop, and it's a slap single. Not even a slap. She just laid the bat out there, and that brings up the top of the order.
Word that comes to mind for me there, Dar, is carved. She carved that one in there. It was
just,
the perfect spot.
Like
perfect spot. Right, see it again here.
What's the expression? Hit it where they ain't? That's what it was.
Hang on.
Yeah. Jessica Clemens coming up. Single and a fly out to second, 1 for 2 on the day. The leadoff batter takes a strike.
Clemens has made some good contact too. Her single was hit hard, and in her last at bat, she fouled at least one off with some zip on it. So Clemens has the pop in her bat today. This could be a tricky spot for Kalupa to get out of, even with 2 outs.
Muscatine trying to clean it up and get out of the inning without giving up another run. That one high, and Clemens not biting.
One of those situations where, as a pitcher, it can be easy to get hung up on the fact that you couldn't end the inning at the bottom of the order. Yeah. Important Kalupa doesn't do that here.
This one, right back and just by Kalupa. Almost made a catch there, but the good thing is the center fielder, Schrader, came in quickly and stopped that ball. You were thinking it might be a run the way it headed out there, but now bases loaded with 2 outs. IGHSAU, who's had a sac bunt, a single, stolen base, and scored the only run of the ball game. 1 for 1 run scored. She steps in. High fly on the infield. Shortstop drifting back now to the grass and makes the play to end the threat. Pleasant Valley gets 3 hits, no runs, no errors, and 3 left on at the end of 4 complete. No score here at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Hey fans, Central College has you covered with career building programs, and with their tuition less than $20,000 a year, and they offer tons of scholarships, it's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. So we go to the top of the 5th inning, and it could have been a lot worse here for Muscatine coming up to bat, but they only are down 1 after the bases were loaded up, and they got out of that inning. And Dar Danielson, Ben Gislason here with you on the call on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Dar, you brought it up earlier, Kalia Sawyer's making a nice defensive play and then stepping up. Grounder here to second.
Lily Gray.
But momentum not only can go from the field to the bats individually, it can do so as a team as well. And that's what you're hoping for if you're rooting for Muscatine, is that, yes, you got pushed a little bit to the brink there in that inning. The bases were loaded, but you're fine. And now rally from that. Use that to garner some momentum into your dugout and maybe try to tie this ball game.
Here comes Avery Schrader, the center fielder. She's grounded out twice, 0 for 2. And fouls that one off. Trying to get the running slap hit. One there. Kalupa almost made one of those you see of the pitcher when the hot smash back to him, and they're just kind of protecting themselves but get the glove down, but it got by her. But then Schrader, credit her, in center field, came in quickly on that ball.
Needed to be there,
and held the runners.
Needed to be there.
Now she's going to try to get on base. That one slapped wide to third. In the hole, 0-2. Yeah, those are the little things that we used to coach Little League, and back up, always be there. It doesn't matter if you don't think it's going to happen, because if somebody drops one or the ball takes a weird hop, you got to be right there to back it up.
And it's so easy to say, I don't have to be there this time.
I
don't need to make the run.
Yeah, I don't mean it.
And the one time you make that decision,
yeah,
that's
when it gets by you.
fast.
Yeah, that's when everybody in the stands is looking at you. What are you doing? Go after the ball. 0-2 pitch. Outside.
And you don't see that here. In the state tournament, you don't see that from these teams. These
rarely.
coaches, they pound that into their players, and they should, because those are the controllables. Coaches talk about controllables all the time. You can't always control if a pitcher's having a great day or if a batter's having a great day opposing you, but you can't control those fundamentals like that, which is backing up your certain positions.
See Merkel there now. The outfield view is swing and a miss. Struck out Schrader. We're out number 2. Brings up Caitlin Haig. She's singled and grounded out, 1 for 2 on the day for the second baseman.
First K for Merkel. That'll build up some confidence, closing in on the twilight innings here, where everything gets more intense.
This one lifted high. Towards center, coming over, left fielder makes the play. Withers. Long run. I was kind of blocked there trying to see, and the center fielder doesn't look like she was coming in, but Withers comes over, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th here at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why MercyOne offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. MercyOne, your best life, our one purpose.
On the Girls Union Digital Network, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Pleasant Valley comes to the plate, leading 1-0. After getting a 1-2-3 inning, it's Casey Kane, the catcher. She is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. Got stranded at third in the last inning. And 0-2 count quickly here.
There's a nasty one on the inside. There's been a few of those where the spin has been outstanding on the ball from the Muskies hurler here today in Kalupa.
That one high. Third time through the lineup here for the batters. Seeing Kalupa, and I'm sure they saw her a couple other times during the regular season, but everybody knows what might be coming, I think. That one comes high again.
Both pitchers have controlled the ball well today. They've been hitting their spots for the most part. I don't think there's been a wild pitch quite yet, at least not anything that's moved any runners along.
Wow. Swing and a miss, struck her out swinging. And there's been some hard hit grounders, but no hard shots high. They keep the ball low enough and enough spin on it that nobody's got a good hold of it for a deep fly that's got any power on it. A few good hot worm burner smashes on the ground. But that brings up Caitlin Merkel, the pitcher.
One of the best pitches of the day we've seen right there, Dar. That thing broke hard at the end on the outside corner and has now struck out Kane twice in this game, has Kalupa. That's no simple task. Kane, one of the better hitters you'll see.
Yeah, the first one she kind of held off and got caught looking, and then the next time she slapped a single, then that time it was just a great pitch that got her.
Yeah, that's just one. Sometimes the pitcher's better than you, and that's what that was there.
That low, 2-0 to Merkel, who's grounded out 0 for 2 on the day. Again, wanting to get on base and help her cause. You like being in the lead, but 1 is not a lot right now.
Certainly help her breathe a little bit easier as the pitches come in, if she could, as you said, help her cause. And one of the great things about softball is if you have a bad inning in the circle, you can sometimes come right back around and say, I'll take it on my own to earn this run back. In baseball, you got to sit and let your teammates and your buddies do that.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And when you get beyond high school stuff. This one lifted high, foul. Two here. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Muscatine trying to get a shutdown inning and come back in. This one ripped hard. Caught! Diving Lily Gray. And left field gets the glove under it on the hot liner to the outfield.
What a spectacular catch by Lily Gray, and that took everything. Jump, it took timing, and it took a great scoop as we see it again here. This ball had a vapor trail behind it from Merkel, and right off the green turf out in the outfield. That's one whale of a grab by the freshman.
She got that glove, big glove she got that flat
big
underneath
glove.
It. Yeah, and got it, and the umpire was right there to say, yep, it's in the glove, and boom. So that brings up Addison Oda, the right fielder. Outside, he had a kid, she's 0 for 2. He was a character. He came out baseball one day and he had a glove that seemed like it went all the way down to his ankles. It was that. And the coach said, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, I found it at the..." And I don't remember if they'd even determined it was legal or not, but 0-2.
Looked like the arm of an orangutan sitting out there.
Sitting on there,
reaching down to the
all
ground.
The way down. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Kalupa being a little careful here with Oda. Now comes back in for the strike. Your obligatory 3-0.
Well, this was the part of the lineup for Pleasant Valley that really carried the Spartans in that quarterfinal game. It was Oda on down. They had some great contributions. Mary Paige Withers had a big RBI single as walk is issued to Oda. So this isn't just a ho-hum get up and down in the middle and to the depth part of the Spartan order. They've got some hitters that can make you pay. So even with 2 outs here,
second
Kalupa has
walk
to be
issued.
careful.
Yeah, and one of those was to Kiefer earlier. Kiefer's walked at single, got stranded at third. Takes it low. So 2-out walk. Number 6 batter, Kiefer, the designated player. Senior. some bounces.
You got a 321 batter hitting here in this spot in your lineup.
And I don't know, I haven't kept the pitch count. It's been quite a few here for Kalupa, but, you know, she's used to probably a heavy workload through the season. I don't know if she's getting a little tired or just, but that's why they're having the meeting there, the infield.
But it's funny, too, how sometimes it isn't a progression where you see it inning by inning where you can feel the arm slowing down. Sometimes it can happen batter to batter. We've seen it here. It was a pretty good inning for Kalupa to the most part. Now all of a sudden she's thrown, of the last 8 pitches, 6 of them have been balls.
And runner going and out of the glove of Lerma. And the runner gets the second, Oda.
Lerma was just a second late there. That was actually a great throw by the senior Salyers behind the plate. Lerma wasn't quite there in time. If she had gotten there in time, I think she might have been able to get set and throw that tag down. I think even if Lerma had caught that ball, her momentum was taking her off the bag. Would have been an incredible tag.
She would have had to swing back and really big.
Would have been like a contortionist getting her hand behind her back like that.
Here's a 3-0, and it's high, and 2 straight walks now to Pleasant Valley. So now Salyers is coming out to talk to Kalupa. Mary Pate Withers, the left fielder, will come out. She's flying out short, flying out to left. And Lerma came over last time and talked to Kalupa. Now her catcher comes over, Salyers. Lewis is at first, Haig at second, Lerma at short, and Becca Haig at third. Outfield is Gray, Schrader, and Molina here for Muscatine.
We got an option at any base here, minus home if it goes on the ground. Got to know your spots.
That one low and catches the plate as it was bended in toward the batter for a strike.
That's a major pitch to get to. After throwing as many balls as she's thrown recently, to get that first strike, big confidence booster.
This one ripped up the middle. It's going to drop in there. Runner rounds and will hold up. So again, a good job by the outfield getting that ball in quickly.
But again, great base running.
Yeah.
That would have been an out at home.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a great play out of center field, but you've seen, again, I talked about it, the line as we watch this great hit again here. The line between too aggressive and not aggressive enough. Jose Lara and this Spartan team has done that now for 2 consecutive games. Now, we'll see if they don't get this run in. Maybe you do wish that got to the plate, but you're giving a team a great chance right now.
Yeah, as you saw the replay, that's one where you say turn and look and see, and then put on the brakes, and she did. That one's fouled off. Sarah Rigdon, who's got a single and a fly out to right. The first baseman up.
And again, the middle to bottom of this order. You can't just look at them and say they're guaranteed outs. They're doing it again, just like they did against the defending champions who have no longer a shot to be the champs because they lost in the quarters to this Pleasant Valley team. So really key to the success, I think, for this Spartans team is the depth of hitting they have. It's been really impressive to watch.
So Kalupa comes right back with a low strike. Rigdon tagged one in the second pretty hard.
2 for 2 in the tournament.
This one lifted foul right. Oh, no, it didn't go out, and she takes
through the fence. Went right through the door. Oh, wow, how about that? She did.
Now,
right through the media door, Dar. How about that? Have you seen that?
No, but was that the second baseman or
that was the first baseman?
First baseman.
That was Elsie Lewis. What a grab.
Because if there were less than 2 outs, that ball would have been out of play and the runners could advance a base, I believe. But anyway, that ends the inning here. I'm still trying to figure that one out. The girls' state softball tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Swing's the place for you!
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
On the Girls Union Digital Network, we go to the top of the sixth. The 3-4-5 hitters up after a crazy play by Elsie Lewis for Muscatine. Catches the ball and goes out the fence along the right side of the diamond.
Coaches often say, you need to be willing to go through the wall for me. Well,
she didn't go through the wall, she took the gate.
Yes. Steve Hopkins can no longer question the commitment of his first baseman, Elsie Lewis, because she just literally went through a wall here in the state tournament. How about that?
Becca Haig takes a strike. She's reached on a fielder's choice and single. This one is going to be up the middle for a single. And the tying run is on. And that'll bring up Isabel Lerma, the shortstop. She's grounded out, reached on an error. Grounded out and flied out. 0 for 2.
Haig can run too. 12 stolen bases on the year. So we'll see if Hopkins gets inventive here. Maybe a hit and run, or at the very least try to get the runner on. Might see a bunt too as well with no outs.
There you have it. Lays it down, but it hit her. She's out. Yep. It hit her. She came out quickly, and that ball bounced up and hit her leg, and she's out.
Makes sense. For the angle I had, the home plate umpire was getting up to make the call. I couldn't see it, but I was wondering why the Spartans were running one way and the ball was going the other.
I could see it clearly. It bounced and hit and came up. That brings up Kalia Salyers.
Dwayne Duncan, the home plate umpire, was Johnny on the spot. Ready for it. Made the right call.
1 for 2 with a single. Takes a ball on the outside. That's big because an unfortunate thing there, because you want to get that runner to second, and it just Haig was so, or Lerna was so quickly out of the box. Yep. Bounced right in front of the plate and came up and caught her leg.
Yeah, the whole bunting while bolting down the line as a righty doesn't quite work the same as it does if you're a lefty.
No. So 1-0 count, runner at first. The tying run at first here for Muscatine. This one, rip right to the shortstop, back to first, double play!
Jessie Clemens, she's been batting well today and making her impact on the field as well. Huge play.
And right to the shortstop. We'll see the replay here before we go to break. Gets it, fires back, and that ends the inning on a double play. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth after this at the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy. And we go to the bottom of the sixth, and a series of unfortunate events for Muscatine as Lerma gets hit by a bunted ball, gets out. Haig led off with a single, then a hot smash by Salyers to the shortstop, and she throws to first as Haig was trying to get off and get down to second, and a double play ends the inning. And there's a strike to Hansen.
A couple nice stretches at first as well by Sarah Rigdon. You sometimes forget about the first base position, and it seems like it's just routine catching balls over there, but she's had a couple nice stretches on some tight plays.
There's a little bunt down the third base line, and speaking of the stretch, a good stretch by Elsie Lewis. Yeah, that stretch can save a lot, dig a lot of low throws out and high throws. You want a tall person who can also stretch and get down. And that brings up the top of the order here for Pleasant Valley, Jessica Clemens. 2 singles and a fly out. 2 for 3 on the day. It's been stranded on base both times. This one lifted high, back, gone! Home run over the left field fence. Jessie Clemens. Doubles the Pleasant Valley lead.
Well, if there's one player that you could circle right now that's had an MVP performance for this Pleasant Valley team, it's the junior Jessie Clemens. Fresh off that sensational play at shortstop, this one was tattooed, no doubt about where this one was headed. The minute it left the bat, that thing went screaming over the fence, well past the trees back there behind the ballpark here at Kruger Seeds Field. What a blast from Clemens, from the leadoff hitter, no less.
Her 11th of the season. And she rips that out of here. This one down the line fair by Reagan Hassel. All of a sudden, those things we talked about, if you break through, then sometimes the roof collapses on you. And Muscatine got to be feeling maybe right now. But then again, you still 2 runs. If you can just buckle back down with an out, you got 1 out. Still not out of reach. You just got to, but you got the heart of the order here. Casey Kane, the number 3 batter, the catcher coming up. Struck out twice, singled with an RBI.
This stretch is such a key one for obvious reasons. You give up the homer, solo shot, which is good news for Muscatine, but now with just 1 out, which means there's options for Kane and Lara as they'll have a little meeting here with some signs from the third base coach.
Kane reached out on that one, and the umpire said she caught it with the bat, so that didn't allow the runner to advance.
Kane's got pop in the bat, too.
High. Hassel over at first. Oh, and I got to mention that was a Kruger Seeds extra base hit, our first one of the day, brought to you by Kruger Seeds. Find your local seed dealer at KrugerSeed.com. This one is ripped into right center. That's back to the wall. We're looking at another Kruger Seeds extra base hit and a run scored. Well, you talk about Casey King having the pop, there it was, and that one again is a Kruger Seeds extra base hit.
Another RBI for the super sophomore Casey Kane, and speaking of pop, opposite field pop, by the way, not an easy drive to put that one out there with so much venom on it, and she did. That was a great swing, stepped perfectly, great execution, very fundamentally sound swing from 7 in white and blue, and that's a big, big insurance run to get. 3 feels a heck of a lot different than 2.
Speaking of insurance, that's an IMT insurance substitution with the pinch runner coming in there. Learn how you can be worry-free at IMTINS.com. See how I did that? Flowed right into that, you know.
Been doing this a while, haven't you?
A lot of years has been fun up here at the state tournament.
My first year, and I've had an absolute blast. This has been just a great, great 3 days, and I'm still looking forward to the rest of this game and the other 2 I get to be a part of here for the remainder of the Girls Union Network broadcast today.
1-1 to Merkel, the pitcher. She's got to like looking up and seeing the 3 on the scoreboard instead of the 1 when they head to the 7th inning, maybe more, with still a runner out at second. This one caught by Lewis.
Elsie Lewis with the catch. Round number 2.
So a home run, a single, and a double here. And then the fly out for 2 outs brings up Addison Oda, the right fielder, who's 0 for 2 and a walk. Takes a ball.
This was where the discomfort in the last inning for Muscatine started, when Oda walked, and then that difficult stretch of batters deep in the order here for this Pleasant Valley team begins with Oda.
Yeah, and they loaded it up and didn't get any runs in that inning, but yeah, it kind of started putting the pressure on them a little bit.
And the bleeding has to stop here for Kalupa. 3 is absolutely reachable, but if this next run gets in 4, you get into 5, it starts to look a lot more difficult coming into the final 2 at-bats that these Muskies have.
And I just look out there and I realize 11 hits, but only 3 runs. So, a lot of people stranded on base in this one. That one's outside and a base on balls. That is what, the third, I think, walk. Brings up Caitlin Kiefer, the DP. That'd be the 4th walk. She's walked twice. Kiefer has, I think. And singled, so she's 1 for 1. And first pitch is a ball. That one's down for a ball.
Well, the balls have come in spurts for the Muskies pitcher here. They hasn't thrown a ton of them today, but when she has walked, she's walked in tandem. And she's behind 3-0 now again.
It's hard when you get a few hits against you and you're trying to come back, and then you're trying to almost be too perfect, I think, is part of the trouble. And you're trying to paint those edges, and then it just, that one's a strike on the 3-0.
Be interesting to see here if they don't have Kiefer take. Similar spot to where Kiefer was at her last at bat.
Yeah, then you load them up with 2 outs.
And Withers, who's proven she can deliver.
And she takes it low. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Mary Paige Withers, the left fielder. She flied out her first 2 times up, singled her last time up, 1 for 3.
Drove in a run as well on that one.
Coach out talking with Myra Kalupa. And just talking with her a little bit, maybe buying a little time.
I'm sure you can't get a little bit of what you're hearing, you can't get the runs back now, but you can keep these runs from getting in. This game is far, far from over.
Yeah.
Muscatine has plenty of players that can get the Muskies back in this one.
Yeah, turn the faucet off and then they'll come in. He said, well, your teammates will pick you up with the bats. So,
and pitching is just so much about compartmentalizing everything and not thinking too far forward and certainly not thinking too far back or even as far back as the previous batter you've walked to. Nothing's gotten into the home plate from these walks yet. Take care of business now and then go to the plate.
This one lifted high, back toward left. Gone! Grand slam!
This heralded batting order depth. You can't say enough about it. The Spartans getting contributions from everywhere. And how about Mary Paige Withers? That's her 6th RBI in 2 games.
And I know we had one over there, a grand slam yesterday. It was only like the 16th ever at the state tournament. I think it was 16th or 15th. We'll have to look it up here. But there's 1, 2, and wow, blows it wide open. Makes it 7-0 here. And brings up the first baseman, Sarah Rigdon. Withers was just sitting on that and drove it to left.
Well, like you said for Kalupa, she went from balls getting rocketed around her there. She gives up a homer, then she walks a few because she's trying to paint those corners, and now she tries to get back in the strike column, and that's what happens.
Yeah, because the coach came out and said, okay, let's just throw strikes to her, get her out. She throws one a little too good a strike, and boom, Withers, credit her for jumping on that like crazy and driving it out of here. So 2 home runs in this inning, and they've batted around. 0-2 pitch, and a little grounder to short will end the inning. But not before they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits, including 3 home runs. At the end of 6 complete, 7-0. Muscatine coming up, needing some runs to keep this going here at the Girls State Softball Tournament, presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
On the Girls Union Digital Network, go to the top of the 7th, the 6, 7, and 8 batters for Muscatine, and now they have a lot of work to do. And trying to find the Grand Slam numbers here for it's either 16 or 15.
While you look for that, this Muscatine team, it's important that the batters that are up here know that you can't, it's impossible to tie the game with one swing of the bat. So you have to just start chipping away, plant that seed of doubt in the pitcher, Caitlin Merkel, as well as the fielding crew here for the Spartans, that this game's not over yet. And even if you don't get to 6 or get to 5 in this inning, get to 2, get to 3, if you can cut it in half, you'll complete what you need to complete. Give yourself a chance in that 7th inning, which is where Muscatine won the opening round in their tournament to get to this game. So they know they've got late heroics in them. They just got to make it more manageable.
Mia Molina gets it started with a single to left. Brings up Elsie Lewis.
Perfect start.
Okay, all-time Grand Slams. The last one was by Jesse Meyer of Pleasant Valley in 2021.
I spoke incorrectly on that one. They got to get them all in this inning.
Yeah,
they got to get them all in this inning.
You got to get 7 in this inning, but you don't have to get a home run. Doesn't necessarily.
No, load the bases, get runners.
Yeah. Shot to third. They go to second in time on the fielder's choice. Route number 1.
Going out in second, route number 1. Garcia first, that'll bring up first baseman Elsie Lewis.
Yeah, so this would be the 17th ever Grand Slam in the state tournament. And now we're having IMT insurance substitution over at first base. Was that a substitute? Yeah. For Pleasant Valley. And was that, did I see 13? I wish they had numbers on the front leg.
Always nice when they have them. Always nice when they have them on the front, don't they?
Yeah.
Not sure if we have an angle on that at all on the broadcast here or not.
But anyway, 1 out, runner at first, brings up a Lily Gray, who's grounded out twice to the second baseman here. Pleasant Valley, 2 outs away from advancing to the title matchup with Centennial. Hit to the second baseman, backhanded, back to first, safe, not in time.
Garcia out in second, route number 2.
It's number 10.
Number 10.
At first. So the final out now with the top of with Lily Gray coming up. Bottom of the order and then the top.
Well, I wouldn't want to hit the ball to the middle of the infield against these Spartans if Ankeny Centennial's watching. Between Jesse Clemens and Reagan Hassel there's been a lot of great plays made, and they almost turned that double play. Great hands on Hassel there at second.
So a strike to Gray. I corrected myself. That was Lewis who hit and is now at first. Interesting that the last 5A Grand Slam was by Pleasant Valley in 2021. Now, that one's outside, a ball. 1-1. 7 runs on 12 hits for Pleasant Valley. No runs on 7 hits for Muscatine. This one chopped out there. It's going to drop and get by. And now the runner's going to come around. They're going to send her home, and that'll score a run. They're going to score that a double. Kruger seeds extra base hit.
Well, the center fielder, Ashley Hansen, dove for that one, trying to cut it down. Where the issue came was Mary Paige Withers was taking a similar angle. She almost needed to take the deeper angle where coming in the shallower was Hansen. They both went after it, and so when that ball got past Hansen, Withers was not in a spot to stop it.
So that brings up the top of your order now with 2 outs. Avery Schrader, 0 for 3 today. She's looking for a first hit. This one slapped hard past the third baseman who was drawn in. And now runners at the corners.
Muskie's not whimpering away into the afternoon here. They're going to at least maybe put a few beads of sweat on the brow of Merkel here in this 7-1 game.
That'll bring up Caitlin Haig, the second baseman. Single to ground out and a fly out, 1 for 3. Now a little talk out there at the mound.
Again, still not a treacherous situation by any stretch of the imagination, but what you are saying if you're going out there right now is no sweat, no problem.
Just don't lose focus.
Exactly.
We need 1 out.
We need 1. But at the same time, we can't list too far here. We can't let the belief start to come into that dugout yet. Right now, Muscatine maybe has a glimmer of it, but they don't truly maybe firmly in their guts believe they got a shot at this. But you slide a few more runs and get it 7-3, 7-4, all of a sudden things are going to really tense up, and that's where you, in the infield and the outfield and the pitching, you can tense up yourself a little too.
Then you start to little things compound, and I've seen the wheels come off on teams that had big leads and late comebacks and stuff like that. But so now they've talked it all over, and Haig will step in there. 1 out away from advancing to the title matchup with Centennial. This one, chop foul. Oh, 1 pitch. This one hit to the third baseman, slow roller, it's over, that'll do it. Pleasant Valley on to the title matchup once again.
Joy to be seen, and the sights and sounds of a wonderfully played softball game, and just an excellent game by the Spartans. They got great contributions from the players that they are used to getting them from. Jesse Clemens has a big day. Reagan Hassel, Casey Kane up in the front end of that batting order. But really, to me, as it was in that quarterfinal game, Addison Oda on, specifically Mary Paige Withers, who had a huge game, hit that big grand slam. The depth of this batting order for Pleasant Valley will be a lot for Ankeny Centennial to handle come the title game.
We'll have the advancement to the bracket here coming up. As the handshakes, and one conference foe is going to have the dragon rights for a while here.
And Pleasant Valley gets their vengeance on Muscatine from a season ago. And you can bet there's some players out there that haven't forgotten about that, and we're really happy in that
handshake line. Pleasant Valley will advance. We want to thank you all for watching today. Thanks to Devin, Justin on the camera, Ben Gisela's son, Dar Danielson here. We're wrapping it up, and it'll be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Pleasant Valley and Centennial for the 5A title here. Thanks for watching at the Girls State Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.